There are many debates going on about whether or not students should be allowed to use their phones in school. Some say that it's a distraction to use technology in an education setting.
I don't think that cell phones should be allowed in school because most people use it as a distraction. Not a lot of people actually use it for, an aid in their learning process.
In some schools, students try to get around the no cell phone use rule. However, in other schools, there are no rules on whether or not students are allowed to use their phones. The question is, should students be allowed to use their phones in school?
I don't think that students should be on their phones in terms of making calls to friends, even family, or using social media when they're supposed to be learning.
I could see how students could get very easily distracted, so I think that's a con. I think it's challenging to stay on task in general.
A majority of people says yes to the use of cell phones in school, while the rest says no. There are many opinions as to why students should be or should not be allowed to use their phones. Some say that cell phone usage in school can help students while studying or taking notes. The opposing side says that cell phone usage in school can increase cheating, especially during tests.
Every student who has a phone out during a test is cheating. Every single student.
Cell phone usage in school can give students access to educational purposes that they need for certain classes. Social learning is also a benefit when it comes to using technology in schools. Students can share the information they found and can move towards a common goal.
You cannot give your phone 80% and then your work 20%. Like, you gotta do the 20-80 rule. 80% engaged, 20% off task. Like, think of it like that.
Some people would go on the internet and bully people, or they'd just be on Facebook or Kik and not caring what the teacher says and just be texting their friends or their boyfriend.
In some schools, there are situations where students' cell phones are stolen and are never found. In this case, this is one of the many reasons why cell phones aren't allowed in school.
Obviously, we allow students to use their phones during lunch. We realize this is a technology-driven society, and certainly it's not something that's going away, but it's how you use it that the school has to regulate.
The discussion about whether or not students should be allowed to use their phones in school is going to continue for many years. What do you think? Should students be allowed to use their phones?